Welcome students again to your home science class. So today, as I have started with the chapter 4, management of resources. So today I will be again recapitulating from chapter 4. So as you can get from the name of the chapter, that management of the resources. So what are the resources? So every day we carry out various activities. Think of any activity you do and you will find that to complete that activity you need one or more of the following things that I'll be saying to you. Suppose like time, energy, money, knowledge, interest or motivation, skills, strength, attitude, water, air, schooling, whatever you're doing, any kind of work. So the basic things that is needed to you for completing that task is the resources. So now we'll be studying that how to manage these kind of resources. So we can get the name of the different resources as I have told you some examples. So from that, time is a very important resource which we need in everything, whatever we do. So all these time, energy, money, knowledge, interest, skills, materials are the resources. Resources are anything which we make use of while carrying out any activity. So now the resources, it can be broadly classified into two types. So number one is human resource and number two is non-human or material resource. So what is human resource? Human resources includes like knowledge, aptitude, skills, time, energy. These are the human resources. And what are the non-human or material resources? Like money. From material you can get that money, space, furniture, equipments. These are the non-human or material resources. And another one is individual or shared resources. Okay. So what are the individual or shared resources we will come to know, and there are also natural and community resources. Okay, so this will be learning in the following. So first of all, let's learn about human and non-human resources. So human resources are the central of carrying out any activity. Okay, so first of all, like knowledge. It is a resource one uses throughout one's life and is a prerequisite for carrying out any activity successfully. So for carrying out any kind of activity, suppose you are doing any kind of job or particular work, so basically concerning about that particular job, the first thing that you need is the knowledge. So if suppose you are painting something, so if you don't have any idea of how to paint or what are the things which you need for that particular painting, you will not be able to complete that painting or you will not be accomplished with that task. Okay, so this is the knowledge. And number two is motivation or interest. So if you are not being motivated by someone or to something, if you not gain your interest of that particular work, then you can't complete, or it would be taking much longer time than the actual time. So the basic thing is this knowledge, and number two we know that knowledge, motivation or interest. So now number three is skills or strength or aptitude. So all individuals may not be skilled in performing all activities. Each one of us has an aptitude in certain areas. So we have got our specialty in certain areas. So suppose who is doing carpentry, he or she is not, might not have that much of knowledge in suppose a work of a plumber. So basically each one of us has got our different strength or different skill for the particular task or different aptitudes. So number four is time. Time is, as I told you, this is the most important thing which you need in every task. So it is a resource available to everyone equally. There are 24 hours in a day and everyone spends it in her or his own way. So depending upon your task, you should manage your time also. So if a simple task, suppose I am doing a task, it is taking half an hour or 1 hour, and the one again another individual, he is doing the same task, and he or she is taking the same task about 2 or 3 hours. So the time management is not getting right for him or her. So this is the time. And number 5 is energy. For sustaining individual growth and physical output, energy is essential. So what does this energy does? What about this energy? If you haven't got the full energy, if you don't gain that energy for doing that particular task, then you will feel sick, then you will feel tired, then the work that you are doing, it will take much time, or you will not be able to, sometimes you will not be able to complete the task also. So what you need is energy. And one important thing, to conserve this energy and to use it most effectively, one must carefully think and plan through the activity so that one can complete the task efficiently. So doing a task with all of your strength will not make that task easier, or it will save energy. But doing a particular task with proper planning and with proper strength could utilize your energy in that work. Okay, now human resources we have completed. Now let's go to non-human resources. So what are these non-human resources? One is money. So we all require this resource, but it is not equally distributed among us. I suppose I haven't got particular that amount of money which you have or anyone other have. So money is an important resource. So the money will depend on how I'm going to complete that work. If I have got enough money, then I'll be doing that particular work with proper equipments, and the time will also require less. And if I haven't got that much of money, then I can do that work, but suppose not that efficient. So money is one of the important. And number 2 is material resources like space, furniture, clothes, stationery, food items, etc. These are some of the material resources. Whatever you are doing, that particular material you need. Suppose you are painting something, you need that drawing sheet, or you need that pencils, your sketching pencils, whatever, crayons or watercolors, those things you need. So these are your material resources. So now non-human resource is completed. Now we'll go to individual or shared resource. So the individual resource is one, and this shared resource is another one. So what is individual resource? These are resources which are available to an individual for personal use only. These can be human or non-human resources. Your own skills, knowledge, time, your school bag, your clothes are some of the example of individual. So my own thing, my water bottle, my phone, my glasses, these are my equipment. So these are my resources, my individual resources. And number 2 is shared resources. So what are the shared resources? These are the resources which are available to many members of the community or society, and shared resources can be natural or community based. Now this shared resource, which is divided into 2 types. Number 1 is natural resources, and number 2 is community resources. So what are natural resources? Resources available in nature like water, mountains, air, etc. are natural resources. These are available to all of us in order to protect our environment. Each one of us has the responsibility of judiciously using these resources. So the natural resource we can get from everywhere, from this nature. Me, you, every other individuals, we get all the natural resources from our nature. So it depends upon how we properly utilize those natural resources without wasting them. And number 2 is community resources. These resources are available to an individual as a member of community or society. These are generally provided by government. They may be human or non-human. Consultancy provided by government hospitals, doctors, roads, parks, post offices. These are the different community resources. Okay. So now we'll be knowing about the different characteristics of resources. So what are the different characteristics of the resources? So now coming on to the characteristics of the resources, so the first important character that we have is utility. So utility means importance or usefulness of a resource in helping one to achieve a goal. Whether or not a resource has utility depends on the goal and the situation. So like for example, cow dung. So cow dung is not needed. So but in another point, the cow dung, it is used to make fuel or the humus, which we call manure. So it is needed to make these. So you can't cut off them. So you can't throw them. So it is needed to use somehow as a fuel or a humus. So you have to utilize your whatever your resources are. You have to use those things properly and efficiently, and proper use of important resources available to a family or community leads to greater satisfaction. So number 2 is accessibility. So what does this mean? What is this accessibility? First, certain resources are more easily available as compared to others. Second, resources may be more easily available to some people as compared to others. Third, the availability of resources changes over time. So availability of the resources changes over time, and it also depends upon the place. Suppose our rural place or an urban place, there will be difference of accessibility of the resources. Okay, so if there is no, suppose in that rural, I mean in suppose these village areas, there you can't get easily access to the different resources as compared to the different cities. So this is also an important character of a resource, that accessibility, how you can get your resource proper. So the amount of the available money is also different during the beginning of a month as compared towards the end of the month. So this is also accessibility of example. Okay, now number 3 is interchangeability. So what does this mean, interchangeability? Almost all the resources have substitutes. If one resource is not available, it can be substituted by another. For example, if your school bus does not arrive on time to pick you up, you can go to school in your car or block cart or scooter, whatever. So suppose there is a school bus, you are going to school. So if your school bus is late for that particular day, then how you can go to your school? By the other transportations, like through auto, rickshaw, or by your own car or any other local private public cars. So you can go through those. So this is your interchangeability. That means substitute for your particular resource. Number 4 is manageable. So every resources need to be manageable. So resources can be managed. Since resources are limited, they should be managed properly and effectively for their optimum utilization. So that means if a resource is available to you and you are using that particular resource, you need to use that resource. I mean, you have to manage the proper usefulness of that resource. Okay, so that number 1 is less amount of that particular resource is needed, and the whole work which you need to complete can be done with that resource. Okay. So for example, like we should avoid using 2-3 buckets of water to wash clothes if we can wash them using 1 bucket. So this is a simple example. Suppose you are washing your clothes and you are using one bucket of water. So that is more effective, and that is conservation of the water by rather than